Well, again, thank you so much, Arnon, for making this time and giving us an airtime as well, going to the professors, staff, and teachers, providing you the latest in Zoom. Just for the benefit of everyone, my name is JC, and I am your customer success manager here in Zoom. Along with Arnon, we are working hand in hand to make it sure that your experience at the same time, anything that you have in terms of issues you're getting with Zoom is seamlessly being addressed of. And part of that is also providing to you what's in stock and what's in store here with Zoom.
Awesome.
So, all right, what we'll be covering for this hour, we'll be taking back then as Zoom being your unified communications platform. So far, we know that Zoom is a meeting platform, but there's a lot to that. And later on, we'll go ahead and unpack those things for you. At the same time, video communications and remote working, what will be the trend after this pandemic? What are those things that we are looking forward in terms of doing new normal? And we're going to transition that in terms of also doing your hybrid learning, and which basically moves for a next step forward for Chiang Mai University, adapting this kind of new norm in the futures. Then also part of this discussion are the things that you already have there in Zoom, hidden features that you might don't know as of right now, but kind of beneficial then in terms of engaging at the same time collaborating going to your students and on your online classes. We'll also be getting into the glimpse of Zoomtopia 2021. What are we looking forward in terms of Zoom in the next coming years, the features that we will be releasing for you. All right, so let's take it and settle it with our vision as a company. So what we would like to have is a platform or that basically provide you frictionless video first unified communication platform. That means that we would like to in-house any type of communication, not just meetings. I'm quite guilty of that because in my previous employer, we used to have Zoom and I only know Zoom then as a meeting. But when I joined Zoom, there's really a lot of things that you can unpack and discover out from here. And that's why I'll just go ahead and go to the next slide. Zoom is not just for meetings. If you may notice, part of your package with Zoom is also Zoom chat, audio. And if you're ready in the future, getting that Zoom phone, these are the platforms and types of communications that is being in-housed into one application. So aside from phone, you also have the webinars, and give it a thumbs up here if you've already tried the webinar we have for Zoom. Right? Not much, but hopefully if you would like to get those type of engagements, going to public engagements that you will be doing then outside from the university, relevant topics then within your faculty, those kind of stuff. Webinar is the best platform that you have. Zoom rooms as well. This will be kind of be evolving in terms of what we have for the hybrid learning in the future. And Zoom apps and on Zoom. On Zoom is more like of a Facebook page that you have. And the best thing about it is you can publish your public events, such as the webinars, so you can get more audience and get more insights coming from your external participants and audiences. So now that we know there's a lot that we can do then for Zoom, the good thing about that is it's all in one platform. You don't need to integrate any other platforms regarding on this types of communications. If you may notice what we are currently doing right now, I'm also quite guilty about this because sometimes I used to send some files using a third-party platform via chat messenger, sort of that kind of things, and do my meetings then via Zoom. Well, everything is basically being shrink into one platform now, which is for Zoom. And I hope you could maximize all these platforms, the one that you have currently for meetings, chat, webinars, and Zoom rooms. At the same time, maximize the one that you have for Zoom apps and on Zoom. So with this kind of reliable platform, and at the same time being seamless to all that type of communications. Last year, we are being awarded by Gartner for the fifth consecutive year as one of the leaders in terms of meeting solutions. Well, that is mainly for 5 reasons. That is because Zoom is simple, it is scalable, it is also secure, and it has been innovative and extendable. We'll discuss further in terms of innovations and again, the features that you have in there within Zoom and what's something that we are looking forward later on as we go ahead with this kind of discussion. So now that you have Zoom as your reliable meeting platform and all-in-one type of communication, what does it impact to Chiang Mai University? And why is it that Chiang Mai University opted to choose Zoom? Maybe we can go ahead and answer that on the next slides. So we'll take the relevance then of how video communications and remote working hand in hand. Well, we know for a time that during this pandemic, a lot of us transitioned then from in classroom discussions or office working. Right now, we have been transitioned into remote working. I myself is quite far from the main office we have here in the Philippines for Zoom. So maybe that's one of the best examples on how remote working is basically being the next thing. Now, we've conducted a survey for 6 different countries, and the survey sampled to people across small, medium, and enterprise-sized business in multiple sectors, including education, healthcare, technology, professional services, finance, insurance, real estate, retail, wholesale, government, and others. And what we have then, in terms of the impact coming as a result of the survey, the impact of video communications going through education, when the pandemic hit last 2020, there was a 3.3 increase in terms of teachers and students doing their class discussions, and they are doing it remotely. And there's also 3.5 increase in the use of video conferencing solutions during the pandemic at business survey. Now, what we're looking at in terms of that trend for video communications and at the same time remote working. So from 2019, you may notice in there that there's just a low type of using then video conferencing at the same time of remote work trends. When the pandemic hit 2020, that surge was shown in there. So these are the 6 countries that we conducted this survey out in the US, UK, Germany, France, Japan, and India. Coming from there, what we are projecting in terms of 2022 or beyond, we might be looking in terms of, there's a downtrend, but we will be seeing there not much as what we have basically done before in 2019. Now that comes in terms of the hybrid learning that we will be conducting moving forwards. And in terms of doing the video conferencing usage, if we are going to correlate that going to remote work trends, we are seeing at least they are mostly in parallel level. So video communications and remote working comes hand in hand when it comes to hybrid type of working and at the same time, hybrid type of learning. Let me just go ahead and proceed now, going to the next slides. And out of that survey, the result came that the pandemic proved organizations don't have to sacrifice employee productivity to offer the flexibility and agility that comes with remote work or remote learning. With the right solutions and processes in place, employees can work efficiently from anywhere. And again, a hybrid approach will also be necessary when it comes to fostering and retaining talent. The pandemic spawned a more geographically diverse workforce. So that means that people move out from a certain regions. They applied to and accepted jobs under remote context. Same thing that I'm doing right now. And with a widespread global workforce, creating a hybrid workforce now for every school or every company, this is not a luxury as of this time, but it becomes a necessity. So hybrid is the next thing. Wherein in the results, as you may see in there, most of the people we've surveyed, 50% or more are saying that flexible remote working model will be the best thing that will work for them. And remote working will be also essential for businesses and schools. All right, so let's transition now. What does hybrid learning is all about? And what do we see in terms for Zoom for education? Most likely, Chiang Mai University falls into this. And with Zoom, let me just provide you a small glimpse in terms of how Zoom connects schools, districts, and campuses for hybrid learning, staff collaboration, even also for administrative meetings, student services, and more. So educators, students, parents, and administrators have the flexibility to connect like never before. So in this video, let's see how the Zoom platform connects everyone in your educational community with ease and enables secure, accessible hybrid learning environments.
This is a classroom, and so is this. It's where learning takes place, where teachers bring the world a little closer, and sometimes even where magic happens. Today's classrooms might look a little different than before. Whether they're physical, virtual, or hybrid, students have more places to discover and grow together. Zoom makes teaching and learning flexible for the future of education. Connecting schools and campuses for a safe return to in-person and hybrid classes, staff meetings, professional development, office hours, and student services. And enabling your faculty and staff to stay in touch with everyone in your educational community. Because learning should happen everywhere.
All right. So I'll take the last words in there that learning should happen everywhere. And basically, it also provides us a glimpse that a student's bedroom can be also his or her classroom. Or at the same time, you can basically teach them in front of your kitchen or in front of your garden nowadays. So that's the kind of hybrid and flexibility that you can do then in terms of, doing and moving to the new normal. Zoom does provide a solution in making it sure that it would be still seamless and at the same time, it works for everyone wherever you are. And if you'd like to get to know more about that, you could also get our education playbook. I encourage you for teachers and staff or administrators, if you'd like to know more about in terms of setting up your virtual classroom, sort of that kind of stuff, then this website I have below, you can go ahead and take note of that. I'll go ahead and share that with Arden at the same time after this discussion. And you'll be able to get some tips to further enhance then your virtual experience with Zoom. Okay, so now we'll be tackling on the new features. Perhaps these are the things that you've already known, and some of these are again quite unfamiliar yet, or you might have encountered this, but it's something that you might don't know how to navigate through and use. Well, basically, as of last year, from Zoomtopia 2020, we've launched 35 exciting features within meetings, chat, webinars, Zoom phone, Zoom rooms, and platform. I'll be discussing just some of this that will be basically applicable then for education, mostly for Chiang Mai University. If we'll be going through this one by one, we might take the whole afternoon for us to finish. So I'll start then in terms of your security. Okay, so we know for a fact that we would like to ensure that our meetings are secured. And if you can see that shield, green shield with a lock icon, you will be able to click that and verify the security code for that meeting or for that virtual classroom. Once you've joined the meeting, check for that icon on the left corner of the meeting window. The meeting host can also read the security code aloud, and the participants can verify that their codes match. So Zoom's end-to-end offering uses a public key cryptography. In short, the keys for Zoom meetings are generated by participant machines, not by Zoom servers. So encrypted data relayed through Zoom servers indecipherable by Zoom. And since Zoom's servers do not have the necessary decryption key, this key management strategy is similar to that used by most of end-to-end encrypted messaging platforms today. So you can go ahead and try this out within your meetings. You can see that green shield, and coming from this, you can read those numbers aloud. And if the numbers matches, that makes your meeting secure. Next one, okay. Let me know if you're quite familiar regarding in this, or some of you are now using this one. Give it a thumbs up there. All right. So yeah, mostly are not yet quite familiar in terms of using the immersive view, but that's already in your Zoom platform. By the way, do make sure that your version for your Zoom desktop application is always updated, so you can go ahead and take and experience this features that we are providing to you. That makes for immersive view, helps you to recreate the feel of your classroom conference rooms, or choose from several other scenes options by placing video participants into a single virtual background. So as you can see in there, it makes more personalized for your students being there, sitting at each other, and you being the teacher providing some inputs. So it takes us back then to the look and feel of getting into a classroom. So you as the host can manually place the participants into the scene, or you can also upload your custom background. So what we'll need to do for that, I'll just go to the next slide. In the upper right corner, you can see, let me just enable here my annotation. Just give me one quick second. So you have 3 types of view in there, and if you click on immersive, you will be asked to choose what type of backgrounds you will need to have. And I think most of the campuses that I've engaged with, they love to have this, and at the same time, this type of setup. And it provides the as well the numbers of people that you can accommodate for that immersive view. Now, again, you have the options for you to automatically assign or place your students in each of the seats, or manually place them at your own convenience. So sounds exciting, and I hope that will help you a lot create more interactive, fun learning going to your students. Focus mode. Okay, so there are some use cases, or give it a thumbs up for me if you agree that sometimes other students are a bit distracting whenever you are teaching. And well, if that student gets the attention of the other students, then the focus of your discussion gets through that student, and we don't want that to happen. So what we have basically launched as of July 2019 is the focus mode, wherein participants will be able to only view their own video and at the same time, the host video, which is for the teachers. Now, on the host end, you being the teachers, you will be able to see everyone, but the benefit of that is it will become less distracted for other students, seeing other students who are misbehaving than on that online class itself. So they can focus more and learn more for your online classes. All right, give it a thumbs up if that really will be helpful then for your classroom discussions moving forward. Great. All right, looks good. Okay, sharing into breakout rooms. So being the host, you have the flexibility to jump in from one breakout room to another. This is basically applicable when you have group activities in that particular discussion. And what you can do in terms of sharing then your content or any materials, you will be able to basically get into the breakout rooms and share those. Now, during the meeting, if you click on screen sharing, there's an additional field that you might need to tick on here. So click on share to breakout rooms, and anyone or any students who are now actively being engaged then in a particular breakout room, they will be able to see and get your content, even if they are already being compartmentalized per rooms. Okay, Zoom apps. We launched this year Zoom apps. It's more integrating than other applications such as Dropbox or Asana. Later on, I'll be providing to you a video that will best explain on how you can maximize Zoom apps in the future. So maybe you have this Google Sheets or Google Slides that you will be collaborating along with your students within your discussions. That is on the way in terms of enhancing that using the Google Apps. So it will be much more interactive when it comes to collaboration. So you can do things before your classroom session. You can amend the things within your online classes. And at the same time, after your online classes, by using your tools for Google Slides or Google Spreadsheets, then it will basically still collaborative. More to that in the coming slides.
EdZoom.
Okay, so the active app notifier. We know for a fact that we have launched Zoom apps, and there can be a lot of applications that you might be encountering. So this Zoom or active app notifier will just let you know what kind of application you are opening it, who are seeing it, what are the things that this application does, and just provide you an education then on what's the benefit of getting and having that app. Enhanced data privacy notice. This is more of a guide in terms of what's the functionality of that features and buttons in there. Say for this, we have in chat, it provides to you the information that you are chatting with everyone and you have the options for you to chat peer-to-peer, or your students can only go ahead and chat directly going to their teachers. Okay, so another thing that I'd like to highlight now is also enabling then unmuting your participants. So if you have those scenarios wherein you're calling out your students because you would like to check their understanding coming from that lesson, and it seems that the student is having a hard time, or it's taking time for that student for them to unmute, and it's wasting then the time that you have for that class. What you can do is basically enable this unmute participants. Now, do take note that these settings is not available in Canvas as your learning management system. If you would like to enable this one, whenever you have created a meeting link, you can go ahead and log into your web portal, and under the meetings tab for scheduling your meetings, you will see this settings. You'll just need to find there in your web portal and enable this one, request permission to unmute. Now, whenever your students will be joining that meeting, what will happen in there is they will be asked for this question. So allow the host to unmute you in any meeting scheduled by you as a teacher. And if the students will go ahead and click on allow, so any meetings that you will be conducting with that students, you can automatically unmute them without getting their permission. Now, if I am the student and let's say, for example, I would like to revert or recall that permission coming from my teacher, they could also do that, or you could also do this by clicking on the settings within your Zoom desktop application. So in your Zoom desktop application, you will be able to see your picture. If you click your profile in there, you'll be able to see the settings, and this window will pop up. You'll just need to go to the audio tab, and coming from there, let's just wait for this one. Click on audio and then go to people who can unmute me, and it will pop up a window then, and it provides the list of people whom you allowed yourself to be unmuted. Now you can revoke those privileges anytime you want by going in here. Sounds good so far? Okay, give it a thumbs up if that is helpful then for your next classes. All right, for music teachers, if you'd like to basically enhance more the audio and make it sure that your students are hearing it right well, Zoom also basically enhance the audio that we have, and we call it the high fidelity mode. Now, if you'd like to enable this, going to your classroom sessions, you'll just need to click on more on your in-meeting in-meeting application. And once you have clicked more, there's an option in there at the bottom part for it to be a mono type of sound mode, or it could be a stereo or high fidelity. So teaching then your pianos or violins going to your students can also be done virtually. All right, so I think this is also a use case for everyone, most likely for those teachers who as neighbors are quiet and loud than in terms of their lawnmower, or if you have those electric fans, those background noises can a little bit be distracting for your online classes. Now, others as well, with my sister, I used to live with her last March, and they have 4 dogs. When I'm conducting this kind of sessions and trainings, then pretty much the audience can hear then the barking of the dogs. So what we have did in there is enable then the background noise suppression. And all you need to do for that is just go to the settings that you have in your Zoom desktop application or if you are in a meeting itself, you can click that audio icon in there, and it leads you then to the settings. And there's an option for you to basically suppress your background noise. There's an option for you to have it on auto mode or in a low type of background noise, or at least totally deprive then those background noises by clicking on high. Now, if you have wearables or gadgets that has background noise suppressions, that will also be helpful. Right now, I'm using a headset, a Bluetooth headset that has a capability that can enable as well background noises. Together with that, and this kind of feature that you have then for Zoom, then it helps any of those background noise be rid of from that online class or discussion. All right, another thing here. When you are sharing your screen and you would like to highlight more of your content or PowerPoint presentation, I'll just simplify this one. Let's say if you'd like to compare apples on your left and oranges on your right, and if you'd like to maximize that content, you can create that and basically have yourself in between instead of you placing yourself just in the left part of your screen. By doing your slides as your virtual background. So you'll just need to click on share screen, and on the share screen, there's a tab for advance, and you will have the options in there to share your slides as virtual background, and this will be what you will be seeing. So your content for your PowerPoint presentation will be your background, and you can adjust yourself wherever you would like to sit in there. One cool thing that I have seen so far is if they would like to be a speaker in a particular session or discussion, they have a PowerPoint slide on a rostrum, and out of that rostrum, they just place themselves as if they are the keynote speaker for that discussion. So sounds and looks very cool so far. Also, whenever you are sharing your content, let's say you are presenting a PowerPoint presentation, but at the same time, you would like to navigate them into a website. So you can share both of those contents going to your students. All you need to do is just click on share. And depending then on your, whether you are using a PC or Mac, you'll just need to hit, I think, on Control and click on those two contents, and you will be able to share both. And as I emphasized earlier, the PowerPoint slide is your virtual background. Once you click on screen sharing, you will be first be prompted to the basic tab. Just click on the advanced tab, and the virtual background for the PowerPoint presentation is available there. I could have just clicked it because this is just a sort of animation at this point. All right, so if you'd like to make more fun in terms of engagement and interactions going to your students in chat, we have just recently launched, just July 19, more of the emojis. So it's look like more like a messenger type, or if you have those line emojis, then pretty much it will go the same then going for your Zoom chat. So while in meeting, you can choose whatever emojis you would like to react during those conversations. Doing good so far. Feel free to grab your coffee, by the way, or if anything that you might want to drink this time. So yeah, feel free to for yourselves and do some breaks. And that relates that in terms of let's say you as a host or a teacher needs to have a break in the middle of your online classes. So what does this functionality means? If you click on this coffee cup, that means that you're away from your computer, and that gives the signals to your student that you might be doing something, and you are on a break by that point. So once you have lifted this up, then that means that you can go ahead and resume then your classroom conversation. Question there, by the way, is where can I locate that, JC? On the participants tab, you'll just need to click on that here, and let's say you will see an icon there of a coffee cup. Just click on that, and it will just show under your or beside your profile picture. Also, if you'd like to get a recap for your classroom discussions, pretty much most of you are recording your sessions in cloud. And if that recording is available, you wouldn't want to spend the whole hour of getting back to that recordings. So Zoom has instilled an artificial intelligence for us to get some highlights, and you can just basically get the highlights of those recordings and playbacks. So the AI basically detects some highlights of that session, and outcoming from that session, then you will be able to just skip and go through the particular highlights. I believe you could also create your own highlights. You'll just need to enable this by going to your meetings tab on your web portal and check on recording highlights under the recording tabs for your web portal. Host meeting survey. So this is quite essential. I know that polls will help you then in terms of generating your um, knowledge checks and quizzes within your sessions. But if you would like to get some more of the understanding after the session, or anything that you would like to conduct some pop quizzes, not necessarily within that classroom session, after the meeting, you can launch this post-meeting survey, and basically you can provide the quizzes even if you are not in a Zoom meeting. So this will really be helpful, you being much more efficient doing your classroom setup. Okay, so if you are fond of using the Zoom chat, we have enhanced this for you, and it has been organized now in terms of who are you commonly chatting with, at the same time the channels that you are being engaging within the organization. And if you are being something called out or being highlighted in a particular conversation, then you can just go ahead and click at. That means that either your name's being mentioned in there on that particular chat, and you can get right away and address to that conversation directly for your chat. Again, a Zoom chat comes for free within your Zoom package here. So I would really like you to maximize that one, as we will be elevating more of the chat features later on. For Zoomtopia 2021, we'll be providing to you more exciting updates that will be coming around. So for Zoom webinars, I'm just going to go ahead and run through this quickly in a way that not much of you are using the webinars, but in case you will be hosting webinars in the future, we are enhancing then the lobby. That means that your participants can see some sort of advertisements. So if you have video contents prior to your webinars, if they are in the waiting room, then they can see that videos while being while waiting to be for the host be let into that webinar itself. Also, if you are a guest speaker, we know how boring it is then for Zoom meetings that we are just seeing a regular type of text, but you being highlighted as a speaker, that means that we can customize now the font, the size, and the color of those speakers. So we've now come up to Zoomtopia 2021, but before I'll go ahead and proceed, those are the kind of features that is already available then within your Zoom desktop application. So I really hope that you can maximize that. And if you'd like to get to know more about this, perhaps after this discussion, I can send you more of some guides from our support article. So we'll now go to Zoomtopia 2021. You might want to be asking, so Zoomtopia 2021 was that, what is it, JC? So if you notice, Samsung is doing their unpacking twice a year, same thing with Apple. So Zoom is also doing that. And just to give you a glimpse for Zoomtopia, it is an annual celebration of our customers. Everything we do at Zoom, from developing the features to building products and providing support, we do it for you. So this is the ones using our communication solutions to make impact in the world, and you deserve to be celebrated. So that's what Zoomtopia comes in. So it offers interactive and engaging session customer panels and guest speakers designed to provide value to our customers, and also offer you a glimpse again of the future of communications. So what are we looking forward now in terms of Zoom enhancements coming next year? Before, by the way, I'll go ahead and proceed. I might just need to provide this fine statements that you are seeing then at the bottom part. So the statements contained here are informational purposes only and may not be incorporated in any contract. Any services, products, or functionality reference that are not currently available are subject to change at Zoom sales discretion and may not be delivered as planned or at all. Customers who purchase from Zoom should make their purchase decisions based upon currently available pricing, features, and functions. In short, there might be some features that may change then in the date for launching. So as these are not yet available, anything could happen then in the future. So that's just the statement goes all about. Oh, just give me one quick second. And okay, I'll just provide you some glimpse on what we have announced in terms of Zoomtopia 2021. This was just last week, around September 13 and 14. And again, there are lots of these features that will be coming around, but I'm not going to discuss it. I'll just provide you some glimpse of what is applicable then for Chiang Mai University. So when it comes to Zoom meetings, we have now the multi-language translation and transcription. So we are committed to removing the barriers to effective and dynamic communication. And as part of that commitment, Zoom is planning to extend Zoom's automated transcription to 30 languages and add live transcription to 12 languages around next year. Zoom connects users across the world, and this expansion of our transcription and translation features will help to overcome the language barrier that can prevent dynamic communication and collaboration. So just like what Arnon mentioned a while ago, that Arnon will be there for us helping in terms of translating from English to Thai. But in the future, if you will be doing your online classes, and if you have international students who are speaking English and you're speaking in Thai, then the live translation and transcription will enable you to translate that either from Thai to English or English to Thai. So stay tuned for that. This kind of be a great and exciting feature that will be coming around. So I hope that also tickles your mind in terms of looking forward what's something for Zoom coming next year. Zoom widgets. So you have that desktop application who might be taking a lot then of space within your screen. Well, the best thing about Zoom widget is as part of the ongoing effort to provide a connected user experience and streamlined workforce, we're planning to release the Zoom widget. And the Zoom widget, you will get a glance of viewing your meeting schedule, see who's already in a meeting, and send a quick chat and more. So by doing this widget, you don't need to open the entire Zoom desktop application for you to navigate. It provides you the most relevant things that you are doing by that time for you to interact along with your co-faculties and going to your students. Slide control. So I think this will be released by this year. So if you have students who are doing a group activity and they are doing a group presentation, so anyone from them wouldn't need to say, next slide, please. They will be getting this slide control panel or feature. And coming from there, anyone who will be doing that presentation, they will be able to just navigate their slides by their own, on their own. Verified identity. So with social engineering and phishing attacks becoming more sophisticated, protecting the personal information is more important than ever. Identity authentication and attestation can help determine if a meeting guest is who they say they are. So what you have noticed in here is we have, just to enable that spotlighter, you have this check mark on the participants tab. So that means that Zoom is partnering then with other third-party providers, and this enables them to identify if that is really the right person that we are speaking with. We know for a fact how technology evolves nowadays, and students might be using some other faces while they are in a virtual classroom and just use some names. So this is one way of verifying if that student is really present there. Bring your own key. So like the encryption that we have a while ago, if you have some what we call this residency keys for Chiang Mai University. It's more of the security features. So for IT in there, you can basically get that encryption keys going to Zoom. So Zoom whiteboarding enhancements. This will be a powerful virtual hub for real-time and asynchronous collaboration, creating more engaging and efficient meeting experiences. So any team from enterprise to education can use the Zoom whiteboard experience to create, annotate, and share ideas from any device, whether you're in a Zoom meeting or not. So Zoom whiteboarding will not just be available while you are in a meeting. You will be able to use Zoom whiteboarding if you are even not doing your online classes. So this persistent collaboration using powerful tools on any device will allow your teams to have the creative space to work together wherever. And we plan to offer whiteboard beta later this year. Now let's take a look on how whiteboarding is expanding more, even going to the virtual reality. And this will be a bit exciting then on what we are looking forward for whiteboarding at the same time. So here's the video of that.
Today we'll show you how this new Zoom and Workrooms integration may work to interact seamlessly together, even though we can be anywhere in the world. I'm here in the real world, while Dominique, Mike, and his colleague Yushi, who is all the way in London, are already together in VR using Workrooms.
Hey everybody.
Hey Jordan.
Hey Jordan.
It's great to see you all in VR. I'm dialing in from my Zoom Rooms touchboard. It feels like I've joined a real meeting room where you're all sitting together.
Wow, it really feels like we're in the same room together.
Plus, with spatial audio, you can tell that my voice is coming from this direction and Jordan's voice is coming from the video screen.
And my avatar hands move in VR just like my real hands move as I talk. And because Workrooms is a mixed reality experience, my virtual desk in Workrooms maps to my physical desk. And I can see my computer screen and my keyboard in front of me just as they are on my physical desk.
That's awesome. All right, shall we try out a prototype of what Zoom Whiteboard might look like in Workrooms?
Cool,
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me open up a whiteboard from my Zoom dashboard. You can see that I can draw freehand using different colors for some rough ideation. I can also create shapes and add different connectors to them to create some flow diagrams. I can also add some sticky notes. And lastly, I'll tag Mike in a comment so he knows where I need some input from him.
I can also write on the same whiteboard as Jordan from here. I just flip my controller to use it like a pen to write directly on my real desk.
You know what? I think I need a bigger whiteboard. Let me go to the front of the room. That's better.
Cool, I'll join you up there.
To use the big whiteboard, I can just stand up in my physical space and choose an area to whiteboard from.
Hey Yushi.
Hi.
So now it feels like we're working on a big version of the same whiteboard as Jordan in the real world and collaborating on a project together. So I can just add a note here and it'll show up for Jordan just the same.
We also envision that you will be able to save the whiteboard and share it with others using email or chat. It's all pretty cool stuff.
Welcome.
All right. So sounds exciting. Once you have that virtual reality, even at the convenience of your home, it will just look and feel then that you are just sitting beside each other, and you can go ahead and interact going to that whiteboarding. So imagine a classroom setup, a typical classroom setup, the one that we have before is now evolving into virtual reality, wherein collaboration is still much easier than compared to what we have previously. So for Zoom chat roadmap, something that I would just like to highlight here is after the meeting, if that meeting conversation will create a chat, and whatever chat messages you have in there or any power presentation or meeting recordings, it will go ahead and store it going to that channel. So it will just be easier for you to navigate through on the things that you have discussed, again, seamlessly from the time that you are in the meeting and after the meeting. Then that makes more collaboration more engaging and fun. So actively collaborate on documents with chat. Again, before your classroom session, you can interact using this documents or Microsoft Word, and at the same time within chat, you can go ahead and collaborate that one. And we've also looking forward to make this kind of look and feel for chat conversations. So you are seeing a typical chat like the Messenger, which is just purely text, but now we would like to make it more human-like feel. So out from the pictures that you have, then you can basically create a background in there. Say, for example, these chairs and those colleagues that you have in that channel or in that chat room will be able to see to each other, and you will be able to see their status. And also you will see that chat box that makes more interactive going to everyone. So that kind of look and feel makes more human-like compared to the regular texting that we do for quite a while. So we have integrated the Zoom along with the other cloud storages. And with these integrations, it will be seamless for you to open files and close files within Zoom and going back to these applications. So we are looking forward. Here's the Outlook, Box, SharePoint, OneDrive, and Google Drive at the same time. For chat, we are integrating Neo so that, let's say your other colleagues are using Microsoft Teams, they can still go ahead and chat with Zoom. You might want to take a look as well in terms of Zoom Learning Center in the future. So this is one of the best ways for you to learn more on Zoom and be a Zoom expert in terms of the navigation and all that stuff. Now we will be launching a guest around next year, and you will have a self-paced learning in there. Now we will be launching courses for this, and out of those courses, you'll be able to get certificates on how you can basically know more about Zoom and be a Zoom expert at the same time. So looking forward that we'll be getting more collaborators and participants and students coming from Chiang Mai University. For the webinar roadmap, if you will be a guest speaker in the future and you will be using Zoom as your webinar platform, as a guest speaker, you will now have a backstage platform wherein you can just go ahead and interact with your co-guest speakers, and you can answer chat questions in your backstage platform. So Zoom events will also help you organize then your expos, sort of that kind of webinars. So webinars will now be launched in multiple ways. So you have a main session. You will also have other sessions that can run simultaneously. And coming from this, you can organize those sessions and you can create your itinerary for those events that you would like to participate with. For Zoom apps, I promised you earlier on what will be the benefit of integrating apps into Zoom. So I'll just go ahead and provide a short video for you, and hopefully that will help you a lot in terms of using this Zoom apps in the future.
EdZoom.
Thank you, Oded. This year we launched Zoom apps with over 50 launch partners with apps that you can use in Zoom meetings today. They're already some of the most popular of the 1,700 third-party integrations in the Zoom app marketplace. By enabling third-party applications into the Zoom experience, we're making meetings more productive, more engaging, and more fun. We heard from Zoom customers the need to carry the context and the content of their workflows through the communication. Zoom apps are built to support meeting workflow. What needs to happen before, during, and after a meeting to be productive. Before a meeting, you prepare the agenda. You bring tasks and data and decisions from your workflows for discussion. During the meeting, you decide on action items, you take notes, or have them automatically created through live transcription. And then after a meeting, You summarize and communicate the recap and continue in your regular workflow. You can see all this in Zoom apps for meetings, like HubSpot's new Zoom app that weaves seamlessly into your daily work lives. You can see information about your contact, open tickets, edit records, and more. And now, I'm excited to share what's in store for Zoom apps. Beyond the question of the Mac or the PC, in the future, you'll be able to use Zoom apps on your phone or your tablet. With apps like DocuSign, where you can sign together anywhere, your workflows just got easier. Watch for new, engaging mobile experiences with Zoom apps, as well as Zoom apps for Zoom Rooms for Touch. Next, we'll be expanding the experience of Zoom apps to Zoom webinars. Zoom apps like Mentimeter and Poly make it easier to increase audience engagement. Large group interactive experiences will create social spaces in Zoom events that everyone will want to participate in. Zoom apps is more than just running your favorite apps in Zoom. I'm excited to share how we are enabling immersive apps, a video-first innovation that puts people into apps and enables developer partners to create immersive and collaborative experiences. Soon a meeting host can just click Collaborate to engage a team in a Google Workspace document. Like screen sharing, it focuses the view of every meeting participant, but in an interactive app. And people are immersed in the collaborative experience, so you can read the room and more. You can see how your favorite productivity apps are instantly becoming more engaging as immersive apps. And soon you'll see Zoom apps from Box and Dropbox and others come alive in Collaborate mode. And with the new Zoom apps for Microsoft products, soon you'll be able to access your files from SharePoint and collaborate on Office documents right in Zoom meetings. And with other immersive apps, the host can just click play in order to invoke a multiplayer experience for fun, for school, and for work. You'll be amazed at the experience of Kahoot on Zoom.
Hey everybody, are you ready to play Kahoot? Let's get going. Alright, first question. When was Kahoot founded? And of course, it was 2012. And let's see what that means for the scoreboard.
I've talked about Zoom apps being productive and engaging, but they're also fun. Yes, it is time to put the video back into video games, just as Zoom can. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear from Ellen DeGeneres about how she is using Zoom for her hit game, Heads Up.
Hello, Zoom. Hey, if you're anything like me, you've spent the past year and a half pretending that you're paying attention in Zoom meetings. Well, it's time to make meeting fatigue a thing of the past. How, you say? Is that what you said? I couldn't hear you. You're on mute. I'll tell you how. With my game Heads Up. That's right, Heads Up has been played over 2 billion times around the world. Now you can play it right on Zoom. Your work meetings, Zoom baby showers, social distant Thanksgiving, things way more fun now. And here's the crazy part. You can play for free right now. So go, scoot, scat, skedaddle. Happy Zooming.
As you can see, Zoom will soon be the go-to destination for family game night. This year we launched the Zoom Apps Fund, a new 100...
EdZoom.
Thank you, Oded.
I think I'll just go ahead and stop there. And I hope that tickles your mind in terms of maximizing Zoom apps in the future. Most likely not just for learning, but also for fun and engagement with your students using Kahoot, or at the same time Heads Up, as it comes for free right as of this time. So how can you be updated in terms of this releases? Go to our blog, that is blog.zoom.us. And also with our release notes, that is support.zoom.us, and just type in release notes in there, that you will be able to see the latest updates we provided. Now, we also have a Zoom community at community.zoom.com if you'd like to engage them along with co-educators and things that you would like to improve further than within Zoom. And also for our social media sites in Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And for our Zoomtopia blog, that is available at blog.zoom.us. So in short, I'm just going to wrap it up Zoom is basically a unified communications that provides not just meeting, but all other types of communications, all in one platform. We are constantly innovating and making it sure that we are meeting then the kind of needs that you have, most especially that we are transitioning into hybrid type of learning. And hopefully you could also use those new features, go and get and grab your new features then and collaborate with your students as you move forward then within your hybrid learning. So I hope this information helps you a lot, and I'm looking forward in terms of updating you once again coming next year or sometime around early next year for new features. So that's what I have so far, Arnon. I really thank everyone then for their time and basically your attention, and hopefully that helps you a lot in terms of basically getting to know more about Zoom. All right, so I'll give this time now to Arnon.
Well, thank you very much, JC, for your amazing talk. I think there are so many interesting things that are new in Zoom. A couple that I'm very excited in, like the conference and how Zoom is trying to move away from sort of a boxed conference experience. So I think it's looking very good, and I'm very excited to try them out as they become available. So it is wonderful for us to have someone from Zoom to give us all these insights. I think, we use them every day, but maybe we just scratch the surface of what Zoom can do. So yeah, thank you very much. And hopefully we'll get more opportunities to hear updates about Zoom. สำหรับท่านผู้เข้าร่วมนะครับก็ขอบคุณอาจารย์ทุกท่านที่มาในวันนี้นะครับถ้ามีคำถามอะไรนะครับอาจารย์พอดีวันนี้เราหมดเวลาไปแล้วนะครับอาจารย์สามารถที่จะส่งคำถามมาทางTLICได้นะครับเราก็จะพยายามประสานให้อันไหนเราตอบเองได้เราก็ตอบเองอันไหนตอบไม่ได้เดี๋ยวจะให้ทางศูนย์ช่วยตอบให้นะครับก็สำหรับวันนี้นะครับก็ขอบคุณทุกท่านที่เข้าร่วมรายการกับเราครับขอบคุณมากครับ Okay, thank you, JC. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone, and Kapun Ka.